morning. Hello, my beautiful ladies. How are you in confident, successful business women? I hope you are all having a fantastic week so far. It is, it is time for Ali to have a frog in her throat. That's what it is. I don't know about you, but my goodness, it's getting bloody freezing down here in Adelaide at the moment. Just bear with me while I set up for your questions and your comments. Okie dokie, everybody. So, welcome to this very special and different version of our Business Growth Insights training this morning. Now, I'm actually going to do something that I haven't done in this group before, and I'm going to open up today's session. Good morning, beautiful Susie. Am I recovered? Just. Just. I am going to open up today's session for questions. So this is essentially a Q&A session where you can ask anything you might like to around business coaching or business in itself, mindset. You know me, guys. I teach on mindset, motivation, marketing. Anything that you would like to ask me, feel free to ask me, and I will do my best to give you an answer. Oh my goodness, excuse me. I need to take a bit of a sip. Oh, okay. If you're popping on, say hi, just like Susie has done. If you're watching the replay, pop hashtag replay. It'd be amazing to be able to engage with you and see what your questions are this morning. Now, if no one has any questions for me, well, that's awesome, because you know what that means. And it means that every single person in this group, your business is rocking, it is going as amazing as you want it to go, which I'm really happy for you. And that's what I want for everybody in this group, is to have your businesses rocking and doing a really good job for you. But I have a slight feeling that a lot of you do have questions that you might want to ask me. Susie, yes, Susie, you better behave, girlfriend. And I'll tell you a little bit about that why. Susie and I, there's a few of us now, have a little bit of a competition as to who can ask the silliest question. But yeah, you behave. Hello, Elaine. Yes, I'm in slippers today. Okay, so I have a few questions that I have kind of pre-prepared, and these are questions that people will ask me all the time, whether I'm just chatting to them at random about business, we're just having a general conversation, or we're in a call, they're having a call with me, or whatever it is. But these are the questions that I get asked all the time. So I thought that I would start with these ones, and if you have more questions along the way, please pop them in the chat, and I will certainly come back and do my best to answer them. I'll do my best to answer as many as we can today. So the first question that I get asked a lot is, do I really have to use social media to grow my business? Now, the first answer to that is, well, no, you don't. However, why wouldn't you? Because these are an amazing tool. When I say these, I say there are so many different social media apps and websites out there. These are amazing tools, and most of them for free, that you can use to build your profile and put yourself out there and get visible in business. So you don't have to use it, but why wouldn't you? And I was doing a little bit of research this morning on some up-to-date stats, right? And so I found some stats from January 2022. And the first one, I'm just reading my notes here. So the first one was, there are over 4.62 billion people around the world using social media. And out of those, there are 424 million users have actually come online and started using social media in the last 12 months alone. So this is a medium, guys, that is growing extensively and fast. So 4.62 billion people around the world using social media, and 424 million users in the last 12 months alone. That's incredible when you think about those numbers. And when we think of Facebook, which is the biggest social media platform out there, okay, there are over 2.9 billion users on Facebook alone. Now, it was really interesting when I was doing the research on this morning, because it was saying it was mostly for males between 25 and 34, and there were 50 something percent males and 35% females or whatever. It didn't, and I'm like, okay, but here's me. I am a 50-year-old female. I've been on social media for years, and I am literally building my business using Facebook. So again, if you're asking the question, do I have to use social media to build my business? You don't, but why wouldn't you? The other thing is too, is that Facebook gives you, and I concentrate on Facebook because it's what I use, Facebook gives you everything that you need for free, guys. And a perfect example of this is that last week, as Susie and Elaine have been mentioning, is that last week we had a whole virtual expo in a Facebook group. So we had 27 stall holders, amazing stall holders, all putting themselves out there on social media, building their business, and we had over 400 visitors come through that group. This was built from nothing. So it's a perfect example. And I saw we had free trainings, we had giveaways, I saw people making plenty of sales, we had calls booked. It was working, guys. So this is what I say when social media is such a powerful tool. If you don't use it, I would suggest that you're missing out on a lot. So the second question that I get asked a lot is, why aren't I getting the sales that I desire to get in my business, or why aren't people seeing me? And the answer to this is because, or the question that I would ask you first is, are you being visible enough? Are you using all those aspects of social media that you can to put yourself out there in front of a potential audience? And further to this, kind of goes to both questions as well. And Ashley, I see your question and I'm absolutely going to get to it. Is that, when we come on social media, a lot of people will say to me is that, well, I don't want to use my personal profile as a business tool. Why wouldn't you? Because when people friend you on social media, or when people join social media, when they join Facebook, what is the first thing they see of you is you on your profile. And the idea of the word personal, I think, is what gets people, is that it's my personal profile, I should keep it personal. Well, you can, there's nothing wrong with you putting personal stuff on there. But what happened for me is I got to a point where I had to make a choice on my social media. It was like, okay, so am I on Facebook to build a business, or am I on it to make friends? And I decided that I was going to build my business using Facebook. I still have my friends on Facebook. They know that that's my job. That's what I've chosen to do. So if they, and I've spoken to many of them. Hello, Denise. How are you, darling? Hi, Claire. You can ask good questions, Claire. Behave. I've lost my train of thought now. So my friends know, and I've spoken to many of them about this. I've said to them, guys, if you see me posting something that's about business and you're not interested, don't get offended, just scroll past it. That's okay. I'm not offended if you guys don't interact with it. And it's interesting in saying that most of my friends, what they do is they do interact because they want to help support me in my business, because they're my friends and because they're my family. So maybe the reason that you're not getting the sales that you desire, or people aren't necessarily seeing what you do, is because you're not allowing yourself to be visible enough, not only with a Facebook business page, but on your personal profile. Or let's take out the word personal, let's call profile. Okay. Now, just to clarify too, and this is why I go into much more depths about this in the, that's all right, Claire, I love you. I go into much more depths about this in the Heart and Soul Business Academy with my clients, is that your personal profile, you can't openly sell on it, but you can direct people to other places where you want them to go, where you want them to learn more about you. Like, again, another example. So on my personal profile, I'm constantly mentioning this group, and I'm directing people to this group, because this is where I do these weekly trainings. This is where this is a promotional tool for me. This is a promotional tool to help other people grow their businesses. So we're not getting, if you're not getting sales, be visible enough. Be more visible. Also, take daily action and make it specific action that you're taking as well. Don't just like post a pretty quote for the sake of posting a pretty quote. What do you want? What's the message that you want to get across on your profile or on that post that you're putting up? What's the message? And are you doing it daily? I've made this mistake, especially when I first started business, was I was posting pretty quotes left, right, and center. I was posting them on my business page. On my profile, I was just doing it everywhere, but I didn't understand why I was posting those pretty quotes, and it wasn't getting me any traction because people were just reading it going, oh, that's nice, but it wasn't doing anything for my business. So be specific in what you're doing. Understand why you're doing it. Understand the why behind you're taking that daily action. Again, I go into this very much in depth. We have a whole couple of lessons on this in the Heart and Soul Business Academy, and why we use our profile and why we use all the different aspects of Facebook and social media to get seen, to get yourself seen in front of, and not only seen, but in front of the right people too. One last question, then I'm going to have a look at your questions. Again, if you're just popping in and you have some business questions to ask me, pop them in the chat and I'll come back to them in a sec. Another question I get asked is, how do I overcome my fears or my insecurities of going public with my business, or even like something like doing a social media live? And look, as someone who has dealt with mental illness myself, and I'm not saying that all you guys have mental illnesses, but as someone who has, overcome something like anxiety and still deals with it, is that I could say to you, you know what, just don't worry about your fears, just go do it. But I recognize that's not always as easy as it sounds. And this, ladies, this is why I teach mindset in business first. Now, you guys know I teach on mindset, motivation, and marketing. But mindset comes first in business. So when you have a healthy mindset, everything else becomes a lot easier. So, if you have a fear or an insecurity or whatever it is, whatever you want to label it, of putting yourself out there publicly in business, work on your mindset. And again, just as we're taking daily action in our business, before you even do that, take daily action on your mindset. Work on yourself, right? There's the marketing strategy, but there's also the mindset strategy as well. And it's so much more important. So, and I think I've seen you mention this, Ashley, like, we're all going to have ups and downs in business. That's just life. It's going to happen. We're going to have ups, we're going to have downs. We all have them. And when we're down, they seem so damn big. And if we haven't worked on that healthy mindset, this is when it can be really difficult to kind of bring ourselves back up to a positive mindset again. However, when we've worked, when you've developed those skills of being able to step out confidently and, have that, have a healthy mindset and a healthy perspective about yourself and your business, then when you do have those downs, it becomes a hell of a lot easier to come back up from them. So I hope that makes sense. So, and again, a lot of ladies say, I'm scared to go live on Facebook. And look, I get these fears and insecurities because, I've had them, I still have them. And it was only a couple of years ago where I was petrified to go live on Facebook. I would never have come live and done this open Q&A session because not knowing what anybody was going to ask me. I was being shit scared because it's, I was like, I don't know what anyone's going to ask me. I don't know if Claire and Susie are going to ask me a smart ass question. But it's because I have worked on my mindset, because I've worked on my confidence, and I continue to do that daily. That's how I'm able to come and do this. So those are the 3 questions that I mainly get asked. Now let me go back, just bear with me, I'm going back to the chat. And again, if you have any questions, this is an open Q&A session, guys. If you have any questions, pop them in the chat. Susie's going to behave. We all know business have ups, yep, and we all know business have ups and downs, but how can you prepare for the quiet times or off season? Okay, this is a really, really good question, Ashley. So this is where working on this mindset happens. Because yes, and I know your business because you're one of my heart and soul beautiful ladies. And yes, we're all going to have ups and downs. And maybe this is the time when you can either re-strategize. You can take the time to, first of all, let's go back. First of all, work on your mindset. Because when we have slow times, right, this is the trap that we can get into with our mindset. You know, we can go, oh, so I'm not making the sales, and you know, the money's not coming in, and everything's slowing down, and we can start to spiral, and we can start to go into the panic, the anxiety, and the fact that we, you know, it might be a day or a week or whatever of not getting any sales, but then you continue to tell yourself, I'm not getting any sales. So what's going to happen is you're cementing that belief in yourself that I'm not getting any sales, because you're continually repeating that to yourself. However, when we work on our mindsets, and I say this all the time, talk about, you know, positive affirmations or statements, whatever you want to call them. Turn the wording around. Say to yourself, I'm like, you know, work on your, what am I trying to say? Say to yourself, the sales are coming. Or the, you know, like, or something like that. Now, this might sound really basic, guys. But it's not basic. It is powerful stuff. Our words and our thoughts matter. So if you're telling yourself you're not getting the sales, you're not going to get the sales. And this is one of those downs. And you know, when you're in this down, you can allow it to spiral further down by continue to say, oh, I'm not getting the sales, I'm not getting the sales, right? Even if you're taking that daily action. But you can also make up your mind to go, I'm not going to accept that as something that's going to continue to happen. I'm going to do this to get those sales in. That's the other part of it. So yes, there's the mindset, but okay, so at the moment, maybe the sales aren't coming in, but what can you do to change that? So rather than, like I've done before, sitting back and going, oh my God, sales aren't happening. Oh my God, that's it. My business is over. What can I do today to change that fact? And when you do that, this is coming back to the daily targeted actions that you take every single day. What can you do? If you need to up your game a little bit to make more sales, then do it. I do that all the time. When I'm not making the sales that I want to make or that I desire to make, I up my game. It's like, you know what? Because I'm not going to accept that. I'm going to make it happen for myself. So I hope that answers your question, Ashley. Okay, Claire, you can ask questions. What have we got? Oh, Debbie, hello, beautiful Debbie. You know the answer. You know, for others wouldn't it just, bear with me. Ashley, so I know this answer, but for others, wouldn't I just post to my business page? You do know the answer, and that's a very good question, Ashley. No, don't just use your Facebook business page. And if you think about it, and this brings me back to what I said about using your profile. When you go onto Facebook, when you check your notifications, because I know that most people won't just simply scroll. The first thing they'll do when they get onto their social media and their Facebook is they'll check the notifications first. How many times have you seen a notification from a Facebook business page besides your own? I mean, I see a notification from my business page, but because I run it. But I don't know when the last time I saw a notification for a business page. The notifications that I see come from a profile, someone's profile, or a group. So that brings me back to, why wouldn't you use your profile for social media for your business? Why wouldn't you? It's sensible to. And think of your business page as like a brochure for what you do. So, you know, there are ways, and again, these are strategies that I teach in the academy, in the Heart and Soul Business Academy. We teach you how to build that business page and the correct way to use it, that's going to help give people the knowledge about what you do. So that's a really good question, Ashley. You can and continue to post on your business page. Absolutely, I do all the time. I post on my business page every day, and I'm not going to stop doing that, because it still helps, you know, build my profile, build my visibility, get people to know about me and about what I do. But if you just post on your business page, you're not going to get the reach or the interaction that you want. So great question. You always ask great questions. Okay, so what do we got? We got 8 minutes left, people. Does anyone else have any business questions? Anything that they'd like a little bit of quick coaching on? This is really fun, guys. Like I said, I actually haven't done this before. This is really fun doing it this way. Okay, I'm just scrolling, just bear with me, I'm scrolling through. Debbie, do you have any questions that you would like to ask? Denise, do you have any questions that you would like to ask? Elaine, how about you, my darling? You see businesses run comps all the time. Do they really work? What sort of competitions are you talking about, Ashley? I'd be curious to know. I'm just thinking about that question for a minute. Yeah, I kind of need a little bit more information on what kind of competitions you're running, you're talking about. I have seen, you know, I've seen plenty of competitions, and I actually haven't seen many of them lately, but there were some competitions where it was like, if you want to win this package or whatever, there was, you know, to enter, you need to enter the competition, you needed to join the group, like the page, comment, and invite 5 people. Right? Now, if you think about that, every single thing that's designed to do is to help grow this person's reach, is to help build their personal profile, build their reach, and build their interaction on Facebook. Now, does it work? Yes, I would say in that aspect, yes, it works. But I would also say, again, if you're going to run a competition like that, understand your intention, why you're doing it. Are you doing it to build your reach, build your audience? Are you doing it to specifically make sales? Okay, why exactly are you doing it? There's no point just doing a competition for the sake of doing it. Hi, V. How do I get all this wet paint off the floor? I don't know, Elaine. You're the expert. You're the artist. I'm sorry. I don't know the answer to that question. Like share and get a prize. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I mean. So, that's the other thing. They ask you to share. And so what are they doing? So essentially, you are sharing. Yeah, so you're sharing their post. You're tagging people in their post. And, you know, all of this is designed to grow their reach. So I hope that answers your question. Does it work? Sometimes I think it can. It can help to grow the reach. Does it work to get the sales? I don't know. I've actually never done it, so I don't know. I have heard of a lot of people who've entered these competitions and never gotten anything from them. However, that's not to say that if you were to run one, Ashley, which I actually think would be quite an interesting idea to explore for your business, you would definitely grow your reach. And you have some amazing products. You know, your balloon designs are incredible, especially your Pamper Pops. To be able to do that, I think would really work. Okay. You're listening and painting. How do I come across naturally? Oh, yes, really good. That's a question that I get asked a lot. and I laugh because I'm thinking of the way I used to do these lives when I started coming to do these trainings, way back when it was a good few years ago now. I'd have my lives on screen and I'd have, my perfect background set up, which wasn't perfect at all. And I would sit there and I'd have to have the perfect angle, and I'd have to be dressed like everybody else on Facebook, and everything had to be perfect. And because I was so worried about coming across as fake, basically, let's say, I was so worried about coming across as fake, is I would sit there like this. Hi, I've got a training for you today. Okay, the first thing I want to talk to you about is, and I'd look at my notes and I'd look up again, and I would talk a little bit like a robot because I was shit scared of everybody thinking that I was fake. So what I learned from that experience, and as I went back and watched them, oh my God, it was like, okay, what I learned, you know what, just get on and be yourself. Just be who you are. So rather than me trying to, and I say this to my ladies all the time, I'm saying this to you guys, is rather than trying to be someone else or trying to be perfect, worry so much about what others are going to think. When you turn up on social media and, just be you, it's a lot easier to come across naturally. And again, I'll go back to that question I asked before, is that, that this is a little bit, I think, about those fears and insecurities, is that it can be scary to put yourself out there publicly as you are, because it's a very personal thing. But the thing with this is, when you put yourself out there as the beautiful woman that you are, the right people are going to be drawn to you. And this is what I'm finding at the moment. When I relaxed into that and I was just like, you know what, presenting like that ain't just me. I've worked and I've figured out how it works for me. So like today, I've got notes here. I'm reading my notes. I'm not ashamed that I'm reading notes. We're all human. And, and this is, so coming across naturally is just naturally be yourself, darling. And, you are a wonderful lady. People are going to love you for who you are. So you've got this, Denise, you've got this, gorgeous. Be very careful with competitions on Facebook because they get very cranky and will throw you in Facebook jail. Yes, absolutely. If they aren't happy with you, any tiny aspect of what you're doing. Yeah, I totally agree with that, Susie. Yeah, they will. You do have to be very careful with how you do things. If there's too many quick shares, if there's, too many things done too quickly, Facebook will consider you to be a bot and you'll get thrown in Facebook jail. So do be careful with how you set that up. 1, 2, 3 live. I think that actually that's your answer to Denise's question, is how do you come across naturally? Yeah, this is something that my business coach taught me actually when I was, she said, okay, you do lives on social media, do lives on Facebook. And I'm like, when I first saw lives, I'm like, I'm never going to go live on Facebook. That's the stupidest thing. Who would want to watch people go live and talk on Facebook? I'm not going to do that. Hello, what am I doing right now? I've been on Facebook talking for half an hour. So clearly I didn't stick to that belief. But, when I really started to see the power of going lives, it was literally just click the go button. It gives you a second to count down, take a breath, and then just talk. Just be you. And people are going to love you for who you are. When I started doing that, people actually started reaching out to me to work with me. They said, I love, people saying things like, I love what you said. I want to know more about what you do. And I'm like, okay, sure. So be you. You are very welcome, Denise. I think I said in the expo the other day that I used to be shy and quiet, and everyone got a real. I think Susie almost passed out because she couldn't imagine that. It's true. I did. I used to be shit scared of going live on Facebook. So, all right, my beautiful people. Now, if you have, I don't know about you, but I have thoroughly enjoyed this Q&A session. And I hope that I have given you ladies a bunch of really, good advice that you can now go away and put into action. If you're watching the replay, pop #replay, pop any questions in the chat that I can help you. If you have more questions that might be a little bit more involved and you want to have a deeper conversation, let me know and let's book a time to have a chat just one-on-one in person. I would absolutely love to do that. I find that these 30-minute, and I call them laser-focused coaching sessions, they are really powerful when I have them one-on-one, because I see a lot of ladies, the light bulb goes on. It's like, oh, and I love that moment. I absolutely love giving people that moment. So if you would like to book in and just have a chat with me one-on-one, pop the word, let's just go with a simple word, pop the word chat in the comments and we'll get in touch with you and we'll organise a time. I have got five more spots available this week only. And the reason for that is because I'm off on holidays next week. So if you want to have a chat, we've got 5 spots available. No worries, everybody. So have a fantastic week. I'll be popping up in the group. I'm always here. Popping up in the group to say live, say hi. In the meantime, have a fantastic week, ladies, and I look forward to chatting to you this week. Okay, bye-bye.